We're back, and today I feel like I just can only say that I really have the energy to kind of be right here and share these messages. So it's Aquarius season. We're in it fully. Like, we're in a very transformative state right now. I've got all 12 of the zodiac signs randomly folded up here, so I don't even know what reading we're going to get into, and I'm not even going to put a time limit like I have previously, and I'm also not going to put any other parameters. The idea is that the zodiac sign called is for yours to identify with. If you feel like this is some aspect of your chart that's activated, or if you feel like it's a sign you've been dealing with a lot lately, maybe externally to yourself. Regardless of what it is, it's your message to claim. But each zodiac sign does deserve this sort of gift of this season. So that's kind of how I'm feeling. And, I had probably a long night tonight of restructuring and kind of getting things together. So, excuse me. So we're going to see what's going on. And I'm going to kind of clear my desk, actually. Okay. So, let's see what sign we're going to begin with. And this is cool because you know what sign I'm going to pick before I know what sign I'm going to pick, because this video will have been labeled, so you'll go in knowing exactly who's this going to be about, but I won't. So that's kind of a fun little psychic Easter egg moment. All right, we'll go here. And the first sign up out the gate. Another moment for you to see. Oh, you can't see shit. Leo. Okay. Leo, I love that. Makes a lot of sense considering that we're in Aquarius season. Again, I talked about this sort of Leo full moon is immediately what I went and thought about. So I love that Leo is sort of our first energy. I think for Leo, I'm going to do the living light cards. Yeah, we'll figure this out. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, for Leo, I feel like we're going to go here. And this says the body unified. Amazing. 15. Right? So we're talking about the 15 archetype, the devil archetype. So let's see. And then assimilation at the bottom of the deck, 12. I'm sorry, 7. So that's like a chariot energy. So let's see. I don't know if this book is missing any paper or what. But we're going to see. So we'll start with 15. I'm going to sit through this too. The body unified for Leo. This set of symbols represents the marriage of your humanity with your divinity. You have found balance with all of your aspects, including both your human and divine selves. You have harmonized and energized your energy field as a human being with all of your physical as well as your multidimensional energy fields, and you have locked in the balance. You are eternally harmonized and open to a continuous flow of information and energy. And it's so beautiful that this message right now is going out to Leo as a gift. So Aquarius is acknowledging that you have come into this total unification of the body space. And there's this glow that is coming from this Leo energy. And I feel like it makes perfect sense that I would start here. And here I was thinking that, today I was really just going to sit down and commit myself to being, as it says, a continuous flow of information and energy. You know what I mean? And I can't say that this is really me stepping into the part of myself that really is here to just channel the messages and be objective and not try to over-identify, but really acknowledge what aspects are being acknowledged. And especially with so much concentration in Aquarius energy, which is love given. I think the opposite side of the elliptic, which is this sort of Leo vibrancy, this sort of source energy being very, very strong at this time, is what I'm seeing. It says you have harmonized and energized your energy field as a human being with all of your physical as well as your multidimensional energy fields, and you have locked in the balance. That's big. That's high praise. That's a huge energy. And then 7 says assimilation. You are excelling at bringing together your then and now as your aspects from dimension to dimension have aligned and harmonized. Celebrate your wholeness. So here I am. I feel like this is a message for me. So what I need to do is just accept, and now I'm really getting a channel message. My part of fortune is in Leo, and I have some feeling that this reality that we've merged, I know it almost felt like we ran out of time, or maybe we didn't complete the goal, is what I'm channeling. It's just what my energy was. Maybe we sort of felt as if we had fallen short, but the real goal wasn't about achieving some external thing, but it was rather finding a way to merge, being able to say my then and now are merging in a way that can transition me. So when I talked about this Aquarius season, as I opened this, being a very big transitionary period, I think this is what you're transforming into. This is kind of about really needing to come into one accord. The way that you won, you thought you didn't win because maybe you didn't achieve the external goal that you thought that this was about achieving. And now somehow, it's not even somehow, it's really molecular. It has to do with the strategy you took to merge your worlds. Now you are the person that is merging your two worlds. You are the person that is, whether you feel powerful or not, is completely all powerful in commanding what comes next for themselves. So very huge high praise, Leo. I think we're gonna just go ahead and do just a Rider Waite and see, because this is I kind of want to be placed and see where we are. I mean, this is huge. This is a very, this is what I'm doing, and I just got this download that as I go through these zodiac signs and in a specific cadence, and I feel like this is going to be a bit of a puzzle, because in the end I'll have this sort of order of zodiacal signs, and maybe it'll have some sort of message for me. We'll see. So let's get some energy out for Leo, who has successfully become this open channel, who's able to receive all new energy and information because of what they've transformed into by merging these timelines together. That was the whole point. It wasn't even just about the goal. So let's see. Oh my God! The first card out is the Death card. I literally, and it's perfect that this is the theme that we're starting off on, because we touched on this in the Aquarius season, all addressing message that we had posted yesterday. And here we are as Death parades and brings in the new. First card out for Leo. This is a huge deal. Bottom of the deck, Four of Cups. Which leads me to believe that the disposition for Leo energy right now is that it was not the focus either. It's the victory coming, the transformation coming from something that maybe you didn't think was the focus. And it's okay for it to have not been what you perceived as what you needed to be focusing on, because you still did it. You still were able to reach the transformation, which means it actually was something that was rooted in your chakra. It was actually rooted in your root chakra, Leo. Interesting. It's the Four of Cups, because for Leo, it had been just you created the circus and now you've just been spending your days watching the monkeys. It was you went into this path because you expected excitement, and it was what it feels like to just objectively observe all of that going on, without any of the stimulation, Maybe Leo's thinking what is the, Is this really just loose? God, is this just all we're talking about? Is there no real embodiment here? Like maybe it was feeling like for Leo, sort of in a harsher, like the true nature of things, you know? What we really desire, what we really need to emerge is this thing. And I feel like Leo had been waiting so long for this to come out of the sky that in the meantime, the whole, this is actually this. And this comes from the fact that you got still enough and just focused on a goal long enough to be able to just actually transform yourself, even if that wasn't what you thought was the point. The Death card. The 13 really represents like stability, believe it or not, you know, and it's transforming your stability. Like Leo is about to transform your understanding of stability because the cup's coming down. Interesting. Chariot. So we got the Chariot clarified by the Ace of Cups. So if this were in the upright, it would be like a W, but in the reverse, it looks too comfortable in the reverse. Ace of Cups, when something, and this is what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna challenge myself. Like, I feel like it's been a while since I've really been forcing myself or challenging myself to like work through an energy and be conscious of the fact that yes, maybe this will be watched back, but I really want to work through this energy for you, Leo. And it's like Aquarius season is like the pouring out of everything that was in this cup. Like, not only is here's the overflowing cup, but this is like the decisive action of what you want to pour into. I'm getting like you've transformed and there was an awareness that you transformed. And then comes the decision of, okay, well, you transformed, which is great because we probably would have wanted to transform before we made a decision about what we're going to do with our Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups being all of our intuitive value, all of our guidance, all of our life force energy. Before we make a decision on that, we want to transform into the highest possible version of ourselves. Now, the Chariot, right? And I just feel like, Leo, for you, it's like you're becoming your own fortune teller. Like you're becoming your own. Like this is coming from the part of you that's like step up, like a healing medicine man, like, you know, like a quick doctor, like a. But anywho, it's all about how this is the awareness of like I want to pour my this is the transfer, like all of the value transferred. And it's the Chariot that's making me feel like this is moving something along. Exactly. Oh my God. And talk about a major victory. A super major mega victory. Right? So let's look at this. Because this sounds about right. Knowing what to, oh my God, as I said, knowing what to invest in. Here we are. This is your spiritual truth. So Leo, this is very body unified energy. It was like as soon as Leo found out saw who it was, it knew who it was. And this is the type of visibility, this is the type of seeing yourself that will never, you can't go back after this. Like, this is the conscious awareness of your bigness that, like, expands beyond something that you knew you could achieve, you know what I mean? And it's about the successful completion to assimilating from one timeline to the other. Feeling that, you know, feeling the power of, you know, this transformation, this parading of a new, brings in the new, right? And then out of the gate, like, what would you invest on? And you knew that the only answer was myself. Duh. My visions, my dreams, my hopes. Six of Wands bets on itself and sees victory for everybody. Like, this is the person that, like, scores the winning point or points. It's like, Leo, this energy, it's like if Aquarius season is pouring it all out, and Aquarius season connects worlds. It's like Leo knew that while they may have been focused on other things, they had completely changed. And so also for some Leos, it's kind of the energy of, like, what you're not renewing, like what's been cut off. Like, you know, like, I can't help but see, like, for whatever reason, this Ace of Cups reverse looks very natural. Just like, wait, you know what I mean? Like, hold it, you know? You know? Because this is a gift from God that's a cup down of pouring out. Maybe the transformation lets you see the beauty in releasing. Because, Leo, you release and it's like certain victory, certain success. All because either way you were going to transform and you're completely aware, because this is the type of thing where it's like once you do this, it's the new trajectory. So I'm going to use these angel oracles because I feel like we need some angelic. So let's clarify the death. I love when you see that. So here's the illustration. And it says religion. There is no religion higher than truth. Here's what's transforming you. I feel like Leo energy, there was a relationship, right? There's this relationship. I'll show you the back of the artwork. In every union, there is a mystery. And so I feel like you, for a lot of Leo energy, you went into this partnership with this level of curiosity of wanting to solve the mystery of why it was possible for you two to exist. But establishing this sort of religious approach to what you wanted, what your desires were, how you wanted to feel. And certain things in your life could fit the perfect part for the religious life you were living. Yet nothing is higher than the truth of what it was. And I think that that's sometimes why we will hide behind our own religious tendencies. is because sometimes things simply don't work. So transforming. Look at this. There is no religion higher than truth. So then we've got this Ace of Cups. I'm going to try again because that was a lot. Oh yeah, this is so good. Okay, we're going to try. It's a bad card. Let me see. The Ace of Cups reversed it. Thank you. Beauty. Beauty emerges when form reflects eternity. So, we're realizing, we're investing everything into this truth because beauty emerges when form reflects eternity. And there is a serious drop-off between what you thought was beautiful, you know? Really elevating yourself, really stepping into what is for you, really understanding that until, no matter what is being offered or put in my face, you know, I can gauge what would make me feel like that's truly beautiful moving forward, because it will be the things that reflect eternity, you know? And maybe that's what Leo finds the most endearing, are the things that they just know are for forever. And having that definition of beauty come from maybe even a time when we realize what both pouring into and then pouring out, you know what I mean? Both are a sensation of like pouring out of your own cup, but you could be intentionally pouring into something with this energy and knowing that the beauty is going to really form with what you're creating, with what I'm creating right now, with this conversation, this authenticity, this pushing through, this being committed to this work, and seeing if I really can make this happen for myself before, you know, giving up or not trying. And that can be the Ace of Cups reverse, me pouring into, you know, capturing my spirit, right? Because if this dove represents spirit and we're about to put a cup on it to try to capture this, we're trying to capture the spirit of what's going on. And you're realizing that the things that you keep in your life that you feel beautiful need to reflect eternity, right? The higher self, the part of the you, the bigger version of you, the essence of you. So being able to discern, you know, and also pouring out the things that no longer really reflect eternity before you were thinking with forever in mind. I think that's what I would call this. Let's write that down. Leo. I'm going to call this video Moving with Forever, with forever in mind. It's an Aquarius gift, you know? It's an Aquarius gift, truly, to be able to transform self, and the way that we would religiously need to make, I mean, religion is, it's not going anywhere. It's just kind of obsolete. So you can still really feel like you have to, but it would just need to be the awareness that you don't even have to do, like, what is it accomplishing, you know, is what we're asking. Because at the end of the day, you don't really have to do any of that in the age of the Aquarian, 25. So anywho. So we've got this Six of Wands. And we've got protection and love. So I'll just read both of them. So here is the protection. Look at the way the invisible influence of the angels wards off all evil. I've been feeling that in love. Pure love is willingness to give without any thought of receiving in return. This victory was truly protected by the divine love, because of our divine love. Like, Leo, you are fortunate in this time because you really understand, you know, sorry, it's just like so deep and so beautiful, and I love this illustration, and it's deeply inner child when I really connect. Some of us were following this magic path without anything really getting anything in return. I mean, the amount of times that we've just done what God has asked us to do, no matter how much it puts us in a more complex situation. Oh my God. To clarify, the Four of Wands, unity. Morals separate, only love unites. And it's like an immediate union because you finally figured out how to celebrate the parts of you that are actually moving from pure love, which is like, how many, and I think this is real for Leo to reflect on. You were making your whole life, that's what I mean. This whole transformation happened. You got unified and you're ending on unity. Like, you're unified, ending in unity. It's a big deal. Spiritual truth, you're being clarified by the fucking Ace of Swords. It's a big deal, you know? But I just have this big feeling that you're kind of dumbfounded by the fact that all of this was happening for you. And your attention, I think, was on things that weren't coming from pure love. Right? Which are the things you're doing without looking for anything in return. And we've really addressed that when we make partnerships, when we're out of out of anything other than just wanting to love and relate, there is something that we are expecting in return. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't matter. But if you're expecting of anything in return, that's the lesson that I think Leo has broken through. And the body and the fortune that you will feel now, the unity in self you will feel, and with the rest of your ecosystem. Because I feel like Leo is just not used to being on the outskirts in the way that it's been, you know? Because there was such a time when you could walk amongst your people and you could feel connected, but now it's like everything that makes you different and hard is what you're really feeling seen for. And you're realizing it's because morals separate, only love unites. And morals are usually based in what? The politics or the religion of like what we think we've got to be doing, because there was this huge transformation to where it's like none of that shit matters. There is no religion that's higher than truth. You can form and go out into the world and indoctrinate and douse everyone with these like religious dogmatic ideologies about how they need to, what they need to do in order to obtain certain things. But the Age of the Aquarian says you don't. There's nothing to do because you've already been blessed with your truth. The truth of who you are, the 100% authenticity of what you are as an energy, as an entity. when this comes to, when it gets revealed what you actually are, Leo, it's like immediate death. It's like the first card out, right? Because there's no religion higher than truth, like the truth of who you are. So it doesn't matter if you were able to get, cosplay in a certain aspect of your life, trying to, slither by and not have anybody notice that you are not living in any truth. Like, you know what I mean? And there comes this moment where what comes out of the sky is a non-renewal. This is, and maybe Leo, it's one of those things where because we've learned beauty emerges when form reflects eternity. Maybe we see no beauty in the things that were in front of us, Maybe it comes from seeing that we can't see that eternity reflected. If you can't see forever in what you're doing, you know what I mean? Forever presence. You know what I mean? If you couldn't see yourself being present with this energy forever, like, what are you doing? There is so much beauty that wants to emerge, but it only emerges, and you're noticing that when the form that they're taking reflects what is eternity, which is synonymous to authenticity, the truth. That's the only eternal thing, is what's true. And I don't know, I just see this back on the prowl. I see an independent success that leads to it's almost like you end up at a union with an energy that you don't even, it's just because you're both at the same success. It's like both celebrating the success at the same time. This light is literally flickering right now. But anyways. This light is literally flickering. That's what I mean, though. It's like, it's something so serious, Leo. It's something so serious. But it goes from a gray experience to a vivid experience. Like, once you know that your truth can exist amongst the mundane, again, amongst the whatever, once you see the opposite side of it, what it feels like to be in the audience of your own show, Leo, once you understand that, when it's time for you to take center stage again, deeply protected and deeply with nothing but pure love surrounding you, like, you don't have to worry about taking center stage and there being like some hidden enemy or demolition. Like, you take center stage the next time you do, and it's like, this is the type of experience where, like, yes, you maybe we didn't volunteer to get out of this cycle, so God is eclipsing it, right? Because the hand is cutting it. All right, enough. You know what I mean, Leo? That really says enough. And it's like, but inevitably, when you do rise back to exactly where you deserve to be seated, Six of Wands, you'll finally have nothing but positive intentions and real love, because that's what you're actually going for. Remember, we talked about, like, what are your motivations? Like, are you doing something? And I feel like Leo for a long time was operating from, like, moving and doing things, looking for something in return. And the reality is they weren't seeing the eternity reflected in themselves and in the world around them, right? The eternity being authenticity. 3344, you're not seeing anything authentic. And you're not seeing anything that feels real. So, it is kind of what it is. But by gosh, by the end of this, you end up united, because you realize morals separate, only love unites. And now moving forward that to be in connection with anything outside of yourself, like, if it doesn't feel like pure love, then it is really, truly not your concern. Because you're not going to get anything that's going to unite you. You can't get unitedness by having this morality that's just, like, in the way, from what you really desire in your life, and what you feel like you need and what you feel like makes sense. Making sense isn't your job, Move on how you feel, and I promise you, if you actually move on how you feel, the thing that feels the best will always make sense. I promise you, you don't have to worry about things making sense. from somebody who's had to take this plunge in my own life and realize when like I can claim the victory I have, but I have to realize and intimately know like what it feels like to like not be on the stage but to be consuming what I'm doing, and am I liking what I'm seeing, you know what I mean? And when we have that time to reflect and say, okay, I wasn't liking what I was seeing, and letting that motivate us to change our behavior and claim our victory and be who we were destined to be and shine the light and be protected and adored and loved by all people, because that is the truth of who we are, and that's why it still is, you know, it's not really a subjective thing. But yeah, Leo, it was a pleasure reading this energy. It was a pleasure getting to like get my feet wet. I appreciate you guys. Maybe your video is longer, 35 than everybody else's, or not, but I am so grateful because you started us off with like success. Like, don't forget that you're now unified. So this is where you ended. This is where we are, you know. It's kind of like, this is really where we are. You know what I mean? Take that in for yourself. You've assimilated all the timelines to where it's like you can know both the audience perspective and being on stage, you know. See what I mean? Like, this is big energy, you know. Just seems like really a big deal. So congratulations, Leo. Happy Aquarius season. I'm so grateful for that breakthrough for you. We're so proud of all the contributions that you continue to give and the learning you continue to commit to doing. It's so necessary, and it keeps quite literally keeps the balance of our universe in place. So the role you play is infinitely important. And I hope that is received at this time. So thank you. It was a pleasure, and we're going on to the next sign.